Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. It's time to re-enter the Pooniverse. No, that's not what it's called. It's the Twisted Childhood Universe, or the TCU. We're not calling it that. It's the Pooniverse. When you have a movie called Pooniverse, why not just call that your universe, Pooniverse? It makes sense. But no, Twisted Childhood Universe, whatever. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Where? There is no Neverland. And there was more nightmare in that Popeye movie I watched earlier. Yes. So this is part of that universe where we're taking the childhood things and making them evil, like the two Winnie the Pooh movies. Winnie the Pooh movies we're doing. And we're doing Bambi, Pinocchio. Also, Wonderland's going to be thrown in there somewhere. Bambi, Pinocchio, and just others. And this is one of them. And, well, this is certainly one of them. Certainly. This is directed by Scott Chambers, who I think also directed Blood and Honey 2. He portrayed Christopher Robin. I didn't say he directed, he just portrayed Christopher Robin. No, he just portrayed Christopher Robin. He didn't direct it. But, yeah. And if you thought that the Winnie the Pooh movies took liberties with the characters, or those Popeye ones even took liberties with the stuff they did, this one, oh boy. No, that's not enough. No, that's still not enough. So, so remember I was talking about those Popeye movies, how they ripped off Popeye's Revenge, ripped off Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Shiver Me Timbers paraphrased the line from Aliens, "Get away from her, you bitch," or "Get away from me, you prick," and also used groovy. I don't think there's really anything in the Popeye the Slayer Man, but I digress. Well, here we got a rip off right away. So we talk about Peter Pan. Alright, let me go down here. So Peter Pan, he worked at the circus, right? He was a mime, yet still talks, I guess. And in this timeline, 15 years prior to this movie, he tries to abduct a little boy named James. And it took me far too long to realize who James was. I was like, James? What character's name is James? James, Michael and John, not James. Sometimes John can be short for James. No, and then I realized later in the movie, it's Captain Hook. But the reason why I didn't figure out is it makes no sense. Because first of all, Peter is a grown-ass man in this version. And James is a little kid, which is supposed to be the other way around. But they get around the whole I want to be a kid forever thing. And why he's an adult. Because I remember seeing the trailer and go, he's not supposed to be an adult. Like, you couldn't get a teenager to do this? I'll tell you what, the actor who plays Peter, you can credit, Martin Portlock. Fantastic job. He is very creepy, and it works. Except for when he's trying to be someone else. So, the scene in which he tries to abduct little James Hook, he pops out of the floorboard, and at first you see this and go, Evil Dead. But the more he talks, hey, do you want a balloon? I'm like, he didn't just say, but he's Pennywise. He's literally Pennywise. Until John Hook's mother's, James Hook's mother comes in. Roxanne Hook apparently is her name. And she gets killed by Peter Pan, and then he takes James Hook. You know, I wouldn't have put Peter Pan kidnapping Captain Hook on my bingo card, but there it is. There it is. We then flash forward 15 years. Yes, we got Wendy, darling. Now, in a blink and you'll miss it cameo in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, we meet Wendy Darling's mom, Mary Darling. But they never say her character's name in that movie. She was Christopher Robin's therapist. But they don't. They mention Ashdown, which is the town that it's from, that the Winnie the Pooh stuff is. But, no. And it's Michael's birthday. I also noticed that she and John are almost grown-ass adults, but Michael's still a kid. There's a whole thing where he rode his bike to school, but she doesn't think that's safe, so she'll pick him up, but he doesn't wait long enough and takes off, so then Peter kidnaps him. And the one thing you're going to notice is that we never go to Neverland. There's none of this. And let me tell you why there's no Neverland. Because they decided they're going to make Peter Pan a kooky man. A cuckoo. Not he's a drug addict. He's on the drugs, and that's why he thinks there's a Neverland. And when he takes you to Neverland, that means that he kills you. He's a kid, because he's like Pennywise, he's killing the kids. So, yeah, except for not any of the kids we see him abduct in this movie. Well, he does, actually, kill a bus full of kids, actually. And what I think was supposed to be a play on the bus massacre on from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 movie. I don't know, but yes, he just slaughtered it. So Wendy, after Michael's disappearance, decides to stay with her friend Tiger Lily. See, normally I would say it doesn't make any sense, but there is no Neverland. So, Tiger Lily and her brother, Joey. Did we say Joey in the last one? They decide to go to Ashdown to visit this guy named Steven, whose son Timmy was abducted by Peter years ago. I should mention at some point we do see Tinkerbell. There's something wrong with her. She is a little off. But, yeah, and you look at this, and you look around, and they go into Timmy's room, and the dad talks about how Timmy never felt right as a boy. Timmy wanted to be a girl. And then you're like, it's Tinkerbell. They made Tinkerbell trans. And I don't know what kind of a statement that is, but is he not allowed to abduct little girls is why you did this? You can abduct little boys all he wants, which is probably even creepier than abducting little girls. But I don't understand. Why couldn't Tinkerbell just be a girl? Instead, it's a trans boy who Peter drugged up to make think... They even say says the line, I always knew I was a fairy. And because the actor is also trans, I guess that's not inappropriate for them to say. Hold on, I think I can figure out what they would like me to call them. Hold on. Kit Green. Her. Okay. Then I will say her. So, yeah, it's weird, but also, like, So, uh, so because we need these two characters to meet, and because Wendy is fucking stupid, because like, there's some weird edits in this. All right, there's a scene, literally, where like, it's when he's still at the school. Peter, excuse me, it's when Michael's still at the school. Peter goes to get a mask from a party shop and kill the party manager. But it's nighttime when he does this. And then we cut back to Michael's school and it's daytime. And then, like, for some reason, Michael goes missing. And when Wendy goes to look for him, it's nighttime. She goes to the school. I don't know what the editing is. I don't know what his editing is. But now, because she's too stupid to find it on her own, Peter shows up, kills Tiger Lily and her family, and abducts Joey. I don't think they should have killed off Tiger Lily. She's an important character, you know. I didn't even pay attention. Was she Native American? I didn't even pay attention. Anyway, so now Wendy has the gumption to go save both Joey and Michael. I guess she now follows Peter to the abandoned mansion where he lives on drugs. Yes. And she breaks in to save him, but first she needs to find a place to charge her phone because she was too much social media, I guess. I don't know what she was doing on her phone, but I have to charge mine at least once a day. Twice, really, because it's during the day, because, I recorded videos for YouTube, so it's during the day at least once, or a couple times if I have to take it off the charger, the recording in, and put it back on, you know what I mean? But all the way once, and then when I go to bed, I put it on the charger. I use a lot of battery power recording these videos for my channel, So, eventually Peter realizes Wendy is here. He doesn't say it like that, but yeah. So they're separated again after they find each other separated again. And she finds Joey in a coffin for some reason in the basement, and helps him escape out the window. And then she finds Captain Hook, now mutilated and chained with a hook on his hand. Yeah. Well, you see, while she went in there, she found Tinkerbell and realizes it's Timmy. So she tells her, hey, your dad misses you. And apparently that's enough for Tinkerbell to turn on Peter. But in one of the most gruesome things you ever seen, like the gore in this is really good. He mutilates Tinkerbell. He breaks her arms and legs off, stomps on her head. Yep. And then Wendy tries to fight him, and he bites off a couple of her fingers. Michael shows up and Peter in the face, just beats him in the face until Captain Hook comes from behind and hooks him in the shoulder. Yes, drags him away. Yeah. So we don't see him die. There's that thing. And now it's 1 year later, and it's Michael's birthday again. And as they're celebrating the birthday with Wendy, John, and Mary, not Dad. And what happened to Joey? We see him escape through the window. What happened to him? He's not there? Well, the phone rings, and Wendy hears the circus music, Peter's circus music, indicating he's still alive. Yes. And I've read down here, that's how it ends, by the way, that they're planning on doing a sequel, that Scott Chambers wants to do a sequel, and that the film needs to perform well at the box office. Well, then why don't he do like these limited things? I don't know. But he stated, and this makes no sense to me, even though in this version of the movie, Neverland is not real. It is only presented as something that Peter Pan sees because of the drugs. He wants to make Neverland a real place in the sequel. Which also doesn't make sense because... So here's the thing. In the first Winnie the Pooh movie, He made it. They made it as if like the Winnie the Pooh characters were mutant human hybrids that existed in 100-Acre Wood, and only for the sequel to retcon that and say actually they were kids kidnapped by the scientist guy and turned and turned in animal human hybrid thingies. They're not mystical creatures. They're humans that were turned into animal creature things. They made it more grounded. Now this one took a grounded concept that's just a guy on drugs, cuckoo, and now they're saying, nah, the Neverland's gonna be real. So why not just do that to begin with? Especially if you're doing stuff like Alice in Wonderland. Wonderland's gotta be real, right? Or is Alice also on drugs? We saw the Mad Hatter in the pictures, or is he cuckoo? You know, you can't tell us one thing and then, that one did good, let's change it up for the sequel. I mean, I didn't mind what they did in a way the Pooh 2, because, like, okay, that makes sense. It's an evil scientist is doing this stuff. But, like, now, you know, I understand it's just drugs. There is no Neverland. I'll say, no, there's a Neverland. I don't know. But it doesn't say there's going to be one. It just says if there was one made. But, yeah. But let's look at this Twisted Child universe before I give it my rating. I will say this was on par with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. It wasn't bad. So we have Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and Bambi the Reckoning that are all Bambi the Reckoning out already? Okay. That are all confirmed ones that are out. I guess it's out. Upcoming ones: Pinocchio Unstrung, and then Poohniverse Monsters Assemble, and then Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. As I mentioned, they want to kind of here. Other projects in the development. Okay. Awakening Sleeping Beauty, Snow White Returns, Alice and the Mad Hatter, Tigger's Return, Untitled Mary Poppins film. I don't know about that one. Untitled Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare sequel. Let me just. Okay. In January 2025, franchise producer Chambers announced part of franchise's future slate of films. Mary Poppins will receive a standalone movie following introduction in Poohniverse Monsters Assemble, while also stating the story will depict her character as a kidnapper. So the same as Peter Pan then? Look, I don't know about that one, but the rat. I'll give it a middle of the road. I think it's fine. It's fine for what it was, but yeah, I'll give it that. So, what are your thoughts on Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare? Let me comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, wait, get Michael Rooker to be Mary Poppins. I'm just saying.